It is so great to be here, though I'm not gonna lie, if any of you online did not catch Sue Bryce, all of us here had goosebumps the entire time. So what I'm gonna talk to you guys about today, perfectly right after Sue inspired all of us, is how to then look at the logistics of creating a video that you want to be successful online, and especially successful on social media, primarily Facebook and Instagram. So I have 5 elements of successful social videos, and I'm also going to demo how I made my most recent one. So I am a wedding photographer, but like Sue, I also found my voice in teaching, and I love it, but now that's something else I have to market. That's something else I have to look at, which was new for me to begin with because I'm used to just having pretty pictures and having that advantage of creating beautiful photography and then just showcasing that. Now I had to sort of go back to the drawing board, but thankfully Animoto made it pretty easy. And most of you are small to medium business owners, so not being photographers is no longer a hindrance to you creating your own marketing media. So 5 elements. First, we already talked about this a little bit, but you're going to use text. I'm going to show you exactly how I use text most recently, but like Sue mentioned, 80–90% of video plays don't have audio to them. Whether it's somebody who just doesn't want the audio on the computer, or most likely somebody who's on their phone at work looking at their social media feed, you have to find a different way other than audio to engage your viewers right away. So using text immediately is a key component to making a video successful because you don't always have audio. Secondly, you want to tell a story. Now this is kind of a gimme, you know, obviously we're storytellers, a lot of us, if we're photographers, but the story behind a video is what keeps people engaged. When Sue was talking about the video of Dawn and, you know, I'm a mother, I am this, I'm that, they're telling a story there. That's what makes it different from, I don't know, a video of what you ate for breakfast that morning. Though while I'm sure a video can be very interesting of what you ate for breakfast that morning, if you tell a story behind it, it's going to be much more powerful. So I'm going to start off with just those 2 points, text and story, and I'm going to show you exactly how I create my marketing videos for social media. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to my marketing video. By the way, I am using Animoto, but you can do this with whatever you're creating. These concepts are going to spread across whatever it is that you're doing as far as creating videos. But this is what I use because it's simple and fast, and I just don't have that much time. And I think we can all relate to that, right? Yes? Yes, a lot of nodding heads if you can't see. So I'm just going to come over here to create, and I'm using the marketing video builder. So it's separate from an original product, which if you guys are already Animoto users, professional plan users, you already have this. It's a freebie in there, but more on that later. So what you do is you come, and I'm gonna just choose a pre-built storyboard. I love this. There's a whole bunch of different styles. This is where everything gets fast. So I'm not reinventing the wheel. I'm not building from scratch, which by the way, is such a huge pain. My husband, by the way, side note, he's a filmmaker. He makes corporate videos. For him to, from scratch, make these kind of videos that I'm gonna make for you in the, I don't know, 17 minutes we have left together, would take him days, hours, and completely different. So these are really cool. You just kind of hover over and you choose what it is that you want, and it previews the style for you. I'm just gonna go with the first one here. You can also click on it and it'll show you, and you can hear the audio as well. But I'm going to go ahead and choose that. If you want to actually watch a whole video, because you guys started to be like, ooh, I want to see that. You see how nice that worked? What came first? Text. What was it starting to do? Tell a story. Little subliminal things. And now every time you watch a video, you're going to be like, oh, that's why I like this. Other than being pretty. All right, so when you first open up a style, you've got the storyboard here. And what's nice about this is it's so intuitive. I'm not going to sit here and tell you how to use this more specifically, but you're going to really quickly just be able to do it. You know, as you hover, you see the controls coming up. You can click and you can drag and move things around just like you normally would. But first, I'm going to upload some of my assets. They're in my downloads folder from before, and these are just some photos that I have here of a portfolio that I built recently. While it's uploading, you don't have to sit there painfully and watch things upload. It's fast, but nobody wants to watch paint dry, right? You can go ahead and get started. So even with the ones that uploaded immediately, all you're gonna do, whether it's photos, whether it's video that you're uploading and you're working with, everything's just click and drag. So you have this pre-built storyboard here, and you're just gonna go click, okay, instead of a video, I'm just gonna put that photo there instead. And maybe this, I'll just stick that photo there and here, and you're just gonna keep going. Super easy, it's already built for you. Then you'll change your text, because as much as avocado chocolate mousse sounds wonderful right now, that's not what I'm going to tell the story about. So I'm just gonna hover over here, click, and change my text. Now I am going to build a video that helps advertise a workshop that I'm doing. It's called Headshot Boot Camp, and it is about building a photography business in 48 hours. So 2 days, you come in, you build a business, and you leave with one. So let's see, I don't know. How do you build a business in 48 hours? All right, you can really put whatever you want here. Do you have what it takes? All right, now right away you can kind of see some things I did here, like, oh wait, I can't see that down there, but we'll get to changing the text and moving it around in a bit. As you go through, that's all you're doing. You're kind of clicking and changing what you want. So let me just go to see more on this one, because for this particular picture, you know, that looks good, but if I want to, I can change the layout, so I can go full screen with it. You can click and drag and just, you know, kind of crop it to how that works. Or you can go back to where you were, go left, go right, do whatever you want. So it's very intuitive. So you see how we're not reinventing anything here? You're just creating what's already there and swapping your stuff in. So I'm going to sort of pre-bake and move on to the next part here, where I've already clicked and dragged everything into my storyboard. So one thing I want to do, which I'm going to talk about next, is setting the pace and setting the brand to what you're doing. I think that might be my next slide, so I'm just going to pull it over here. Set the pace. So when you are creating these videos, these are, yes, advertisements, yes, they're marketing, but what they really are, this is defining your brand. This is what people who either know you or don't know you are going to see and really judge you by and decide whether they're going to essentially give you their money, right? So when you create pieces like this, you have to think about your audience and your brand. So when I say set the pace, a lot of the times I'm thinking about music, but I'm also thinking about the actual structure, the pacing of the video I'm making, because you get control over that fourth element of time. And you get to control that. If I knew my audience was, let's say, an over 60 crowd, my pace is going to be very slow. Not very slow, but very slow in comparison to if my audience was under 25. Completely different. So you want to think about how you set the pace. And one of the most powerful ways that you can do that is by using music. And you want to make sure that you're using commercially licensed music. And what that means is that you have permission to use that commercially, in other words, to attempt to make money by using it in a product or in an advertisement. You have permission to just do so, and you can't get sued. Now, all of a sudden, all of your faces are like, oh no, am I doing this? This sounds difficult. I don't want to be a part of this. But it's really not that bad. Animoto, another reason that I use them is they have over 2,000 songs that you can pick from that are either royalty free or through a company called Triple Scoop. And they're right there in the library. I'm going to show you exactly what I do when I pick songs, because again, I'm looking for this to be fast. So let's go ahead back. All right, we're going to go onto the left side over here, and I'm going to click change song. Now I have one there, and it is the one that I want to use, but let's just say I wanted to use something different. My dialog pops up, and I can pick some of the top songs for this particular style of the marketing video builder that I chose. Really quick, able to just click and play and listen to it, see if I like it or not, and a lot of them are going to be different. This one is all whimsical. All right, or I can go upload a song. If you upload a song, you are responsible, obviously, for getting the commercially licensed music, or I can go to their music library. And this is what I love. So first of all, I do have favorites in here. Here's some of my favorites that I've been using recently. Or I can go and look at what's popular for babies, what's popular for business. So let's click on business. There's still a ton of stuff here, so let's find some other things to categorize by. Mood, aggressive, no, not aggressive, I don't want aggressive. cynical. No, not cynical either. Let's go with cinematic. See how specific it is though? So fantastic. So let's go with cinematic. And I want something that's instrumental. I don't want any vocals in there competing with either my text, my story, or the voiceover that I can add. More on that later. So now let's go ahead and scroll up and see what I have. All right, I've got the big day that is fitting specifically business, cinematic, instrumental. Perfect. Love this. I'm gonna save this. All right, over here on the right-hand side, you just click the little heart and it adds it to your favorites. That's a really good one. I like that one. Not for what I'm doing right now because the pace of what I'm doing is a little bit more upbeat. So I'm gonna just X out of that. I chose a Battlestar Guitarica. So that's what I went with here. You can adjust the song volume if you want it to start playing a little bit louder, a little bit softer, right there. So I'm good there. The next thing I want to do in talking about telling a story and setting the pace and your brand is, as nice as these colors are actually for my wedding photography business, they're not going to match what I'm doing here for the Headshot Bootcamp. The Headshot Bootcamp is a very upbeat, it's a little bit more contrasty, a little bit more kind of hard work in your face type thing as the music is. So I'm just going to go here to my text. Or let's go to the background first. I'm just going to change that to black, and it automatically changes everything there. So that actually looks great. I don't think I'm going to really do anything else. I like the red and white combo, but if I wanted to, I can just click that here, you know, and I don't know, go to yellow, and now they're all yellow. All right, so let's just go back to the red that I had there. Perfect. And if you want to go into things more specifically, you just go into see more. Now I can click on all these things specifically. So you've got, maybe I want the 48 hours to go white. Maybe I want it to be a little bit bigger because that was kind of small before, right? We're moving things around. And then you also have the ability here to click and drag things to where you want them to be. Very intuitive. And you can go on to the next slide here. And maybe that's a little small. We'll just go bigger. Not 2 lines, I like 1 line. Perfect, and then we'll go back to storyboard. So you see how this is very simple. You also have choice of fonts. My husband and I, again, he does these videos from scratch a lot of times, and he is such a font fanatic. Anytime I ask him to look at something I've done, he's like, so about that font, Vanessa? Like, okay, I get it. So you need to pick all of my fonts for me, which is good. It's a good thing to have that kind of eye for things. So perfect. So I have my text in here. I'm telling a story in here, which I've gone through, and it's really step-by-step how to create a business in 48 hours. So that's my story. It's how to do. And it's a step-by-step thing. You'll see step 1, learn the how-to. Step 2, shoot your portfolio, create your website, build your marketing plan, launch. And then my call to action, very important, like the video we just saw, you want a call to action at the end, is see what you if you have what it takes. And I just blatantly say that, put the website, and I'll show you how to create a very strong, clickable call to action in a minute. So that's all there. I've set the pace, I've chosen the music, and now I just need to create my video. So the nice thing about this is you can see this, preview it, and then change it, because sometimes there are little things that you want to change. For one, actually, I'll just kind of do this on purpose, and I'll tell you what I'm doing in a second. I'm going to go here to preview. And what preview does is it generates a preview for you to look really low res, but it's a very fast render, about 15 seconds, where you can see the video and play it and see if you like it, see if you want to change something, or see if there are any errors. I am such a person for typos. I do typos all the time, or little baby errors, which you'll see in a second as this renders. As I mentioned, you can put video in here as well as photos, but what happens with video? There's one more element. It's not just visual, it's audio as well. So one of the biggest mistakes that I make when I am using Animoto to build my marketing videos is I accidentally forget that the video clips I threw in there have audio. And sometimes that works. Maybe you want to keep the audio in there because you've purposely filmed something with audio, whether someone's talking head or trying to get the audio of the sound of what's being made maybe. But sometimes it's an accident, because for me, I actually reuse video clips from previous video projects I've done. I have, video projects where they are a 3-minute commercial piece. And while that's great for there, maybe I just want the 3 seconds of, me fluffing a bride's dress, or the 13 seconds over here of me packing up a wedding album for a bride. And I just take those little bits and repurpose them into something like this. So this is generating the preview of that, and we're going to hear, actually, now that I explained it, I don't think you need to totally hear it. But this one, for example, this video clip has the audio on it. If I want to turn it off, I'm going to come down here, and very small, you can do it, just click the audio and then exit out. Or if you want a little bit more in your face, you can just bring it up one by one and then decide to trim it here. You can turn the audio on and off here. So what I do recommend doing when you're uploading video clips is, remember I mentioned I have that 3 or so minute piece and I'm only using those 3 seconds. Don't upload if you don't have to. Don't upload the 3 minutes, because then you'll have 3 minutes of video in here that you're like, where's that 3 seconds I want? And you could do that here, but it might be a little bit tedious. What I do is I pull it up in QuickTime, and you can trim really easily in QuickTime Player. So then you're just uploading what you actually need. So do that, make sure you turn the sound off. And then lastly, before I show you the final video of what this looks like, lastly, all of these you can add voiceover to. So this was a huge request back in the legacy version, I'll say, the slideshow builder of Animoto, where I just wanted to add voiceover. So if you want to do video is hard enough, but you add audio, and now there's a whole other element. Again, my husband, I always like to compare anything with video to him. If he is ever at his desk and I hear some sort of profanity happening, it's usually because of the audio. The video he's not complaining so much about, but the audio can be so difficult. But this is really easy to do. So you can click and then record right here. You just click and hold and it'll record your voice. Now, when you're doing this, whenever you're recording audio, the biggest tip I can give you, get as close to the microphone as possible. So don't get all artsy and take a step back and decide to say whatever it is that you're gonna say that's so profound in your video. Actually hover in like a creep, get as close as you can, and then your audio is gonna be much more clear. All right, so that's a way to do that, and you can record it even nicer. You can record it clip by clip, put audio where you want it, don't have to have it through the whole thing. Works out really, really nicely that way. All right, so the 5th thing that we have here, the 5th element is you want to share natively. So I'm gonna flip over to the video, fully rendered video. We've done some pre-baking. It's like a cooking show here for you guys. We've done that and have the video all set, which I will play and let you see, and then I will show you how I share it. So we can see all the elements coming into play here. Text, story, paste, licensed music, and you'll also notice it's extremely short. When you are sharing natively, you want it to be short. When you're sharing social media, period, you want it to be very short, because time is not what it used to be. People have very short attention spans right now. So while you can click all these buttons over here and it will automatically share to YouTube, to Facebook, things like that, when we're working with social media, Facebook specifically, Facebook prefers their own video player, their own compression. So what you're gonna do is just click on download. You can always download all your videos. It'll automatically render out all 4 resolutions for you. For Facebook posting, just download an HD version and then upload it natively to Facebook. So go to Facebook, click upload video, and put this video in there. They're going to prefer that. It's going to help you out, which I'm sure Mario will talk about different tricks for helping you out with social posting with video. So you want to share natively, and that's what it looks like. Now, remember how I told you there was a call to action button? Really quick, that's what I want to show you. In your settings, you get to have a call to action button. So book your seat now. Let's just say that's your call to action, and then you can put your website in here headshotbootcamp.com. Click save. And now, every time the video pauses and at the end, it's clickable to the link there. So those are the 5 essentials to logistically putting all the tangibles together to creating a video for social media marketing. All right.